aka Yolanda, right? There we go, I got it right. So she gonna co-host with me today. I have the boss in the building, Gina. She's in the back. What's up, boss lady?
And out.
DBN. Make sure you download the app. If you're listening to me, you have the app. Make sure you tell your family, your friends, tell your pastor, tell everybody to download the app on Apple Store and Google Play. Before I got off air, we was talking about relationships. Before we get into that, we're gonna go back to the NFL. I told you I was done, but D and Gina are gonna chime in about the NFL. So, like I said, I wasn't impressed about the NFL this weekend. I'm over the NFL. I don't care if Colin play or he don't, because they show their true colors. They don't love the brown and the black. And 70% of the NFL is made up of black athletes. We're not talking about the coaches, we're not talking about the faculty, we're not talking about the people that work, we're talking about the men that play on the field. So would that mean if the 70% players walk away, that means 30% of the NFL will be the other race. And I don't think anybody gonna watch a bunch of white boys play football, no pun intended. But anyway, how do you feel about that, D? How do you feel about what's going on in the NFL?
What I feel about the NFL is that they definitely need to be more. They definitely need to start their players off with a lot more money. Some of these players, everybody assumes that once they start and sign these contracts that they're making, $1 million, $2 million, and some of them can't even. They're not even making that. They're not even getting themselves up there. That's why it's so competitive inside the teams, because they're trying to fight for sponsorships. They're trying to fight for other, because that's technically where the money is. And these NFL players, even though they're still kind of unionized, they're making money off of the federal government, because the federal government still pays into certain NFLs because of the depression, that they're still able to pay into some of that money. And they're making a lot of money that none of these players should be broke. And I still got an offense to saying that, even the Patriots, have we ever had a black quarterback in the New England Patriots?
I don't think so.
No. I mean, it's not, and you can't just say, okay, why do we have to make it a race thing? But sometimes if we don't throw race into the card and put people on notice, then we just sit in the background all the time. And they're absolutely right. If you're just saying, okay, now the bosses are with the black players, and you're only saying that because you're scared that if they all walk off, if they all leave, you're not gonna have a team.
No.
You're not gonna have a team.
And I don't understand that the players know that. Like, y'all know how deep how deep you are, and y'all still won't leave. Imagine they don't play for a week or two. Okay, you're gonna get fined. Y'all millionaires. Take that $20,000 or that $50,000, whatever fine you is, and show them that, okay, it's not about the money. Because most of the NFL players, the stars, get money off of endorsements. You know what I mean? And they're always talking about livelihood. Look at Colin. He gave up $14 million this year, and he's still giving out money. He's not getting a check. I don't know if they get paid bi-weekly or every week. He's not getting a check because he's not playing. But he's still donating money and donating his suits and stuff. So the question is, that means he went in his savings account. Because if you're not getting income and he got dropped by sponsors, where that money come? He went in his bank account.
That's right. So I feel like if the NFL really wants to stop all the hoopla between, the going down on the knee, my real thing is stop playing all of them. That means collaboratively stop playing that means that all of them have to do it across the board. Meaning, if you really want to make noise and you really want to shut it down, stop playing.
Stop playing. And that's what I said. Everybody oh, they got families. I'm like, Colin Kaepernick don't have a family? I don't understand. He gave up $14 million. He could easily say, you know what, I'm sorry, I disrespect the flag, it got back in the league. He's like, no, I'm straight. I'm not apologizing, because y'all still don't get the point. Y'all talking about some goddamn flag and some goddamn song, but it's not about that. It's about our blacks and browns getting gunned down in the streets, right? Then, remember, he started sitting down, right? Colin started sitting down. He spoke to a Navy SEAL and had a meeting, a private meeting with a Navy SEAL. The Navy SEAL said this: I would like you to kneel while the anthem played. If you knew, I won't have no problem. And this is a Navy SEAL that risks his life for the country. And he's saying, you know what, I understand what you're saying, but for me and for the Navy, can you kneel? And that's how he started kneeling. But nobody want to talk about it. It's still about the anthem, still about the flag.
Yeah.
Let's forget about the flag. Let's forget about the anthem. Let's talk about why he started protesting about unarmed blacks and browns getting killed on camera. See, back in the 90s, we used to say, oh, police whoop our ass, they killing us, and nobody really believed us, like, oh, they're criminals, they're trying to get out of it. Now it's on camera. Now they see what we've been saying since the 90s. Now, people still going home free. Yeah. So nothing's still going on, and I don't promote violence, but me being in the streets, and I was in the streets at one time, only way I got my respect when I put my hands on somebody or I hurt somebody. You know, I'm not promoting, I'm not saying go kill a cop, I'm not saying no crazy shit, but only people respect violence. People only respect you if you stand up for yourself. Mm-hmm. And if you ever read The Art of War, you know, there's no casualties in war. Like, people have to die. People died back in the 60s and the 70s. Mm-hmm. The Black Panthers and Martin and Malcolm, they died for the cause.
And I think that I think that it shouldn't just stop or start with the NFL.
No.
I think every national team, from the baseball to hockey to football, I think that they all these black players or all these Latino players and all our allies should just basically come together. You want to shut it down. You want to shut down and you want to put people on notice and you really want to hit where it hits. Stop. You can't just ask you and me to just stop watching the NFL.
Right.
You want us to stop watching, stop playing.
True. And
but they got to do it all together. Ain't nobody gonna listen.
Who you telling? And you spoke about baseball. Boston Red Sox was the last team in the league to have a black player on their team. When Jackie Robinson got in the league, Massachusetts was the last team out of, 30, 40 teams, I think? I don't know how many teams, but anyway, they was the last team to have a black player. So that tell you how Massachusetts feel about blacks.
Yeah.
It is what it is. You see that. You saw that at the Patriot game. Y'all booing y'all players because they kneeling. If y'all fans, y'all support your players, that means you support them no matter what they do. Mm-hmm. When it's right. You know what I mean? But y'all support them when they catch the domestic violence cases, when they killing people in drunk driving cases, when they catching sexual assault cases. Mm-hmm. Everybody that caught them cases are back in the league. But when this man Collins stand up for blacks and brown, you gonna blackball them? The proof in the pudding.
Yeah.
They don't fuck with us. Right. And that's why when I see blacks and browns talking about, oh, we upset that Colin is not in the league, but I'm about to go home and watch the football game.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Like,
where the fuck is what part of the game is that?
What part of the game is that? Because to me, it's like, why are you going to sit up there and you're going to go watch the game, but you're upset about all this other stuff, but you go back, you're still giving your ratings up. My thing is that I look at it like, instead of it being a race war, this is a like-minded war. Because we need white people on our side as to fighting certain things, especially if they're allies. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes this white stuff will go harder and tie themselves to a car
than your own.
Than our own. Our blacks are sitting across the street eating a burger. Like, what that white person doing? Doing what you supposed to be doing, stupid. Why you sitting across the street?
But this whole thing is being manipulated and Geppetto by, unfortunately, our own commander-in-chief. This is like he done turned a situation into a deterrent, where he has us talking about this, why we have this guy in Korea threatening to do harm, drop bombs, why they're investigating his whole camp about being involved with Russia. So, you know, there's a lot more serious stuff going on, and he pretty much hijacked the situation where he knew, like, if I cause a deterrent by upsetting my following, because he knows how they think and how they're affected by things that he says. And two, for some reason, he was friends with people that were NFL owners, and then when he's no longer happy with them because things didn't go his way in a business deal, he's like, well, let me kill two birds with one stone. Let me cause this chaos, and also he doesn't like when people don't do what he says and things don't go his way. So pretty much, from my understanding, he had some type of football league that he wanted to do some type of merger with the NFL. And when that didn't go well, he turned on those friends that gave him millions of dollars when he was campaigning. And he knows how to retaliate and get people where it hurts by telling them what to do and by hitting them in their pockets. So when he called people, the players, son of a bitches and things like that, okay, they probably didn't like it. But what really hit them is when he made a post saying to people to not go to the games and turn off their televisions. He went for their money. He went for the jugular, and he went against the shield. And that's when they banned it with their players, and the whole situation changed. So, this whole thing is being Geppettoed and been hijacked and turned into something that it's not. And, we're all just falling into what he lined up.
My thing is that what people keep mistaking is that we could have, because of a war from which they would call the American rebels against this other country, what, England?
England, yes.
Before we even came in, if the blacks would have stuck with the English, we could have just been easily English. So while everybody over here like, oh, Americans would never do this, Americans would never do that, if you look at what Americans stand for, they were all about blood. They were killing the English by the millions. They were rebels. They were shutting it down.
But let's go before that. I have a Native American in me. My granddad was half Indian, half Portuguese out of Rhode Island, and I have family on a reservation now. Everybody forget what the Indians went through. Mm-hmm. Like, it seemed like we forgot about them. It's all about blacks and slavery. It's like, hold on, time out. Like, hold on. What about the people that was here first before they killed them off, then brought the slaves and
after they made them a nice dinner.
Yeah, after they made a nice dinner.
And why are we still celebrating Christopher Columbus?
Or Thanksgiving. I don't listen.
I give you dinner.
That.
You give me small
pot. Your house and be like, this is my house.
Like,
Gina, you ain't kicking me out.
After I give you dinner, you give me a blanket full of small pots.
Right. I just saved you from freezing your little white asses off.
And showed you how to live on the land.
Teach you how to live on the land. And you gonna take my land
and kill me.
Then
give me a little patch of land. Say, you know what? We gonna take everything, but we gonna give you a little bit of this.
And then give me some drugs and make me stupid.
And alcohol. And matter of fact, then you say, you know what? Y'all can have a casino, and we won't tax y'all.
But not every tribe got a casino.
Yes, only Mohegan, Foxwood, Mohegan.
And from what I hear, those are the tribes that sold us out.
They sold.
They sold themselves.
A lot of people sold they sold for money. You know how that shit goes.
You know how that goes. While everybody else is still living in Arizona reservations or North Dakota reservations, living in housing worse than us at this point. Yes. Their trailers are falling apart, leaking from the ceilings.
They have a real high rate of suicide.
Yeah.
And depression on the reservations.
And
I wonder why.
And the best money for liquor buying.
I wonder why.
But in Alaska, you can't drink. They'll arrest you in a heartbeat. So you're arresting the natives, saying that they can't they can't drink or smoke or own liquor on their land in Alaska. Yeah. They have a law that says that shit, man. It's crazy on how we are still treating our Native Americans. Till this day.
And actually, everybody that's not a Native American, we're on their land. We're
on their land.
We're invading their space right now.
So why are we saying the American allegiance to the flag when it's not really our flag for this land?
All. Anyway, honestly, and you can talk about, the Mexicans and the Dominicans and Puerto Ricans need to go back home. If anybody got to go back home, everybody got to go home then. We got to go back to Africa. It's like the Indians.
Since I'm multiracial, I don't know where the hell to go.
Me, shit, I got a bunch of stuff in me too. Irish, black, Indian. So
I guess a little bit we go to France, England, a little bit we go Native American.
But that shows you how
world tour.
That shows you how white people think, and it is what it is. Like, prime example, I had a fire this weekend. I lost everything, and I was dealing with the police and the fire marshal. So they asked me what happened, Then, like, the investigator came, and he asked me questions like, where were you? Do you have a problem with the owner of the trailer home park? I'm like, no. So he just asking me questions. I'm like, hold on, before you continue, ask me if I burned it down. That's what you trying to get to. I said, no, I didn't burn my place down. And you can investigate that, but don't try to handle me like I'm retarded or slow because I'm black. Just ask me if I burnt my shit down. I'm gonna tell you no. Then you have to investigate anyway. Then after that, right? So now I'm dealing with Red Cross. Whoop, whoop, whoop. I'm doing what I'm doing. And mind you, they didn't run my name that whole time I was there. I was there for 2 hours dealing with that fire. Now after I dealt with Red Cross, and now I'm about to walk away. He said, Mr. Manson, hold on 1 second. I'm like, all right, cool. And he's on his radio, do. Then it came, the dispatch said something. They said, Mr. Manson, we can't let you go. I'm like, why? They said, you got a warrant out of Hartford trespassing. I said, what? A trespassing warrant? I said, all right, I had a trespassing and I dealt with it. I was calling the courts trying to get a court date, but something happened, I ended up getting a warrant, whatever. But that shows you, at a fire, they still gonna run my name for a criminal situation. Even though I lost everything, they know I lost everything. And he tried to be cool, whatever, with me. Before I walked away, let's check this nigga if he got a record. If he got a warrant or something. That's what it was. Because I was there for 2 hours. If you're going to run my name, you done ran my name when I first got there. When I first gave you my ID. Right?
They put you on the arrest?
Yes, they turned me. I'm getting arrested in front of my house that's burnt down. I had handcuffs, so I went to the Bristol police station after finding out I had a fire. And he said, "Oh well,
that doesn't happen to everybody.
Well, listen, you're very polite.
That doesn't happen to everybody.
Wow.
And now listen,
when you're under arrest, that doesn't happen to everybody.
They ran my name.
Wow.
If I was white, you think they ran my name? To see if I had warrants for them?
Arrest you when you lost everything for something that obviously you're not running from the law from. You might not be aware of. Was that the time, place where you going anywhere?
Yeah, like I was here for 2 hours talking to you before I leave.
And this obviously where you live.
This nigga go. Let's see if he got a warrant. And I ended up having a warrant, but I dealt with it. I bonded out. Shout out my friend September. She came and helped me with the bond. But that shows you what it is. It is what it is. You know what I mean? And after I did, what's so crazy is after I did the fuck ESPN video in front of ESPN. I don't know if that was the cause of it, but I'm going to put it out there. I said fuck ESPN in front of ESPN. Then when I went home, I found out I had a fire. And then after the fire, they ran my name after Red Cross dealt with me. And in my head, I'm like, if you're going to run my name, you'll run my name. As soon as Mr. Manson came and I gave my ID, like, my name is Michael Manson, this is where I live at. You'd have ran my name. But when the lieutenant came, and he probably told him, run his name. Because the first cop was dealing with me, he didn't run my name. I bet his boss told him, run his name before we let him go. And I ended up having a warrant. But it was a trespass, not like it was like a murder or assault second. It was an infraction. Because in Connecticut and Hartford now, they don't
They could have told you,
handle that Hartford.
Yeah. You're not even in their jurisdiction.
It wasn't even their jurisdiction.
See, this is what I'm talking about taxpayers' money. This is what I'm talking about.
When you lose everything you have, it's not the time for somebody to remind you of a pay warrant and arrest you and your worst time at the worst time.
I was there for like a half an hour. I went in and came right out. Went in and came out.
Something that wasn't serious, something that wasn't a violent crime.
Y'all could have said, you know what? Mr. Manson, deal with that one. Next time we see you, we're going to deal with you. So, we're going to let you leave now, go to Hartford and deal with it. Because if you come back to Bristol and we stop you, we're going to start the warrant. I'd be like, you know what? Cool, thank you for letting me know. I done went to Hartford and dealt with it myself. Like, I got a warrant, let's get this shit over. It was $150. I was in Bristol for like a half an hour, PD. I went in and walked right out. But
I mean, there's certain things that shouldn't happen. But what I find too is like definitely there's certain type of people, and it's real prevalent in this day and time. But it's like I'm just learning to deal with people as individuals, because the people you think that might be the same race, background, religion, or whatever, sometimes they're not all for you. And then there's people that do not look nothing like you. They're white and of all shades of color that are good people that are there for people and will help your cause. And be more outraged than some people that are actually the ones being unjust.
That's why I said this is not all. I mean, I know that we should always help our black and brown because we want to empower them.
Absolutely, it's part of education. They need education.
They need education. They need empowerment. But sometimes there's those few black and browns that'll tell you where that village is. We all sitting up on that same shit. We fight to get off them.
You know there's somebody named Harriet Tubman, right?
Because, I mean,
You know they in a
There's
railroad.
somebody selling us out. That's why I say it's a like-minded war. We can't
Telling about the
always-
railroad and everything.
We can't always fight against all the whites because
No.
there's some whites
But
out there. But I'm not defending. I say that we always have to strengthen our own community.
Right.
But sometimes I don't always believe in the boycotting either, because my thing is that we gotta stop asking. We gotta stop asking the other people for validation.
I'm sorry.
We gotta stop validating ourselves.
I'm laughing at Mike because he's like he has his pieces, he got his Henny, and he got his Coke, and then he lets his mouth be the bartender. So like he takes a swig and he switches all up, and he's making the drink in his mouth.
That's what I do.
That's how I feel about it. Is that we gotta stop asking for validation. We gotta validate ourselves.
Yes,
we gotta validate as a community. You know, if the Oscars don't want to play your shit, fuck it.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
we do our own damn Oscars. Stop asking for validation. Stop boycotting.
I feel like if the black entertainers really feel some type, y'all would start your own Oscars. Y'all would start, like, everything that y'all always cry about that is not no black, and start your own shit.
Start your own shit.
We need to go back when they had the Negro League and it was only blacks. Okay, the whites have their league. Why we can't have our league? It's
right.
It's not about race. Okay, cool. So if it's not about race,
then
y'all
don't
won't
worry
be mad.
about where we at.
Yes.
Don't worry about
That's what
it.
I understand. That's
Don't
the same
worry.
thing I'm saying. Like,
it's time for Black Wall Street coming. Latino Wall Street.
Now, we had a Black Wall Street and they killed them. They bombed it.
Because
back
we
in
let them.
In 1940. That's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. Now it's different. Now we're not going to tolerate the shit we tolerate in the 60s and 70s.
That's right.
We're not going to do that. So now it's like we need to get back on that black power shit. Like my mother was a black nationalist. She was not a Black Panther, but she's a black nationalist. She fought against the war, pollution, and police. And my mom got out of it because the men and women that was in the black nationalism, majority of the black men, they start dealing with white women, and they start doing drugs. So my mother said, hold on. We preaching about black power and against drugs and against white women and all that, but you're fucking white women, y'all getting high. My mom said, I'm straight. Y'all hypocrites, and I'm not going to be part of that.
Right.
You know, so that's where my little fight the power comes from. And my mom one day said, Mike, why are you so against the system? And I looked at her and I said, I wonder why. I said, what were you? She said, black nationalist. I said, you answer your own question, Mommy. I'm just a better version of you.
Product of the
That's
environment.
it. I'm just product of environment. I'm product of my mom.
That's
my mom taught me at a young age, depend on a woman. Always get what get.
You want to say that again?
Never depend on a woman.
Oh my God.
My mother told me at a young age.
Any of y'all watching?
At a young age.
Any of y'all couch sitters?
She told me at 7 and 8 years old. She said, never depend on a woman. And I never depended. Has a woman helped me?
You're going to need an escort out of Springfield on the
couch. You're going to get your other house burned down. And it's going to be the black man that's sitting on the couches right now.
But it is. But now listen.
You told Harpo to beat me.
You told Harpo.
But
you rain on your head right now, boy.
Like basically, like I said,
my mom not to take
my mom
care
taught
of
me
me.
a lot of stuff at a young age, and now I'm listening to her. I didn't listen to her in my teens and my 20s. It took me to get in my 30s, and then it's like, you know what? I think Mommy right. Mind you, my mother was 32 when she had me. She was my age that I am now. So she had 32 years before I got here. So when she was telling me, and I'm like, my mother, you don't know nothing. But now at 32 years old, and I'm giving my kids the game, and I'm like, damn, I know what my mother was saying.
Right.
And now I'm doing what she's telling me to do. So now I'm like, I feel like it's my calling to tell the world not what to do, but
advise them.
To advise them.
Knowledge.
Knowledge. Knowledge is key, and that's why to this day I absorb knowledge. When you were speaking, you taught me some stuff that I didn't know. Within like a 5-minute conversation that now I know forever now. So, you're never too old to get new information.
Never too old.
And that's why I be trying to speak to the youth and the world. That's why I got on the radio, because it's like, it's so much I can do on Facebook. I said, I need to get on the radio and really speak. You know what I mean? If I could change one person, I'm good. And that's why I reached out to Gina. I got in her inbox and I gave her like a long page. Like, listen, this, give me a shot. And she's like, you know what, I'm going to give you a shot, see what you're about. And she said, you know what, I like your energy, because I came up here twice before I became part of the family. On Titan Radio, shout out to Titan, and my boy Dylan, shout out to him. Mm-hmm. And they brought me up, you know what I mean? So, with that being said, That's why I say loyalty and love is more than a brand. It's more than a book. It's a lifestyle. You know what I mean? So I feel like, that's what the world missing right now, loyalty and love. It's not a lot of love out here, or people not loyal. I feel like the blacks in the NFL is not loyal to Colin. Honestly, if you was loyal, y'all would be like, you know what, I'm straight. If y'all don't sign him, we're not playing. Fuck Nillis, we're not going to get on that field. If this man don't get a contract.
That's how I feel.
And we're going to take that $20,000 fine we're going to get Tuesday or Monday.
That's
take
right.
it out of my account.
That's right.
But we're not playing.
Problem,
How much money you think they will lose if they fill up a whole stadium every Sunday and nobody plays?
We're not conditioned to stick together like that. And it takes some repairing, and hopefully we'll get there at some point. We've been broken down over a certain amount of years. We're not conditioned to do that.
And the sad part is that
even
if they were going to hire another black, to try to get another, say, coming off college or high school, somebody who owns that team can say, well, you know what, if he want to leave, I know this hungry little black man, and you know what, there's always going to be like, fuck that nigga, I'm going to take this money. Instead of just saying, they're going to treat you the same way.
You know what pissed me off? Ray Lewis and Michael Vick. I said, when I heard him talking about cutting his hair, I said, hold on, nigga, you had cornrows. And you got convicted for killing dogs. You the last one should speak. Then back to Ray Lewis, you called a homicide in a club. Somebody baby got killed. Even though you beat the case, that don't mean you had nothing to do with it. We know a lot of niggas that beat homicide.
That's why he was on 2 knees.
And you had on 2 knees. Then it's like, because you know why? Because he's so used to, we're not even going to talk about that. But anyway.
Lord of mercy.
But anyway, with that being said, Ray Lewis is OJ. And go back to the OJ thing.
Right.
That's why I said on my Instagram, I said on my Facebook, you're black or you're OJ. You can't do both. You want to be on our side or you're going to be on the other side. And you see what happened to OJ. He ended up coming where? He came back on our side. And if you ask a lot of blacks,
and that's when he got convicted.
Now listen, if you ask a lot of blacks, that's older back then, in the 90s when OJ was on trial, they didn't fuck with OJ. It wasn't about OJ. It was about a black man beating the system for once. That's why if you watch the footage of the verdict, you saw a lot of white people crying. You saw a lot of blacks cheering. It got so real. I was in school that day. They stopped. They released us early that day. I remember it was around, I think, like 9. Mind you, we was only in school for like an hour.
I don't think no one forgot where they were when that happened.
We gotta call your parents. People that test the bus, city bus, y'all can leave now. We have they brought all the kids back home.
We felt that way about Zimmerman.
Now listen,
like that was like our payback right there. I felt like
that's why I said when we got back to when I got home. Actually, I went to my aunt's house on the Avenue, Albany Avenue. And when the verdict happened, mind you, the Avenue is one of the main streets in Hartford. I don't know if you've been to Hartford now, but the Avenue is the main streets. When I said it was jam-packed of people getting out their cars, peeping on because OJ beat that body. Man, it wasn't about him winning. It was about we won. Finally, we beat the system. And we know he killed him. It is what it is.